You know that moment when your alarm goes off and you swing your legs over the side of the bed, expecting them to carry you into your day. But instead, they feel like they belong to someone else entirely. Maybe you sit there for an extra minute or two, not because you are lazy or trying to avoid the day, but because you genuinely need to convince your legs that they are supposed to work. Perhaps you have noticed that what used to be an automatic transition from sleep to standing has become a careful negotiation with your own body, a silent plea for your muscles to remember their job. If you have ever stood up in the morning and felt like your legs were made of jelly, or if you have grabbed onto the nightstand or the wall just to steady yourself during those first few steps, then you are not alone, and more importantly, you are not imagining things. What you are experiencing has a very real physiological explanation, and today, I am going to share with you 3 specific vitamins that can transform your morning experience from struggle to strength. My name is Lauren, and welcome to Lauren Wellcare, where we explore the science behind feeling your best at every stage of life. I have spent over 2 decades studying how nutritional deficiencies affect our daily energy, muscle function, and overall vitality, and what I have discovered about morning leg weakness will probably surprise you. The conventional medical approach often dismisses these symptoms as normal aging or suggests expensive tests and treatments. But the truth is that your body might simply be crying out for 3 essential nutrients that most people over 40 are unknowingly deficient in. Before we dive into these game-changing vitamins, I want you to know that everything I share today is based on peer-reviewed research and years of clinical observation. But it should never replace professional medical advice, and you should always consult with your healthcare provider before making significant changes to your supplement routine. The reason your legs feel weak and unsteady in the morning is not because you are getting old or because you slept wrong. Your muscles are actually experiencing a complex cascade of cellular events that happen while you sleep, and when certain key nutrients are missing, this natural recovery process becomes incomplete. During the night, your muscle cells work hard to repair themselves from the previous day's activities, clearing out waste products and rebuilding protein structures that give your muscles their strength and responsiveness. This process requires specific vitamins and minerals to function properly, and when these nutrients are insufficient, your muscles literally cannot complete their overnight restoration. The result is that morning feeling of weakness, instability, and the sense that your legs need time to wake up along with the rest of you. What makes this particularly frustrating is that most people have no idea why this is happening to them. They might mention it to their doctor during a routine visit, only to be told that it is a normal part of aging or that they should try to exercise more. While exercise is certainly important, it does not address the underlying nutritional deficiencies that are causing the problem in the first place. In fact, exercising on legs that are already struggling due to nutrient deficiencies can sometimes make the problem worse, leading to increased fatigue and even more pronounced morning weakness. The first vitamin that can completely change your morning experience is vitamin D3, but not in the way you might expect. Most people know that vitamin D is important for bone health, but what fewer people realize is that vitamin D3 is absolutely critical for muscle protein synthesis and neuromuscular function. Your muscle cells have vitamin D receptors throughout their structure, and when these receptors are not adequately activated due to vitamin D deficiency, your muscles cannot maintain their strength and coordination properly. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that adults with vitamin D levels below 30 nanograms per milliliter were 3 times more likely to experience muscle weakness and balance issues, particularly in the morning hours when vitamin D levels are naturally at their lowest point. The reason vitamin D deficiency is so common, especially in people over 40, is that our skin becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight as we age. Additionally, many people spend most of their time indoors, and even those who get regular sun exposure may not be producing adequate amounts of vitamin D if they live in northern climates or consistently use sunscreen. The standard recommendation of 600 to 800 international units per day that you see on most multivitamins is nowhere near enough to correct a deficiency or optimize muscle function. Clinical studies have shown that most adults need between 2,000 and 4,000 international units of vitamin D3 daily to achieve optimal blood levels, and some people may need even more depending on their individual metabolism and absorption. Sarah, a 52-year-old teacher from Michigan, contacted me last year because she was having such severe morning leg weakness that she had started sleeping in the guest room on the first floor of her house. She was afraid that her legs would give out on her as she tried to navigate the stairs to her bedroom each night. Her doctor had run basic blood tests and found nothing wrong, suggesting that she might need to see a neurologist. Before pursuing expensive specialist visits, Sarah decided to have her vitamin D level checked, and it came back at 18 nanograms per milliliter, which is severely deficient. Within 6 weeks of starting a proper vitamin D3 supplement at 3,000 international units daily, Sarah reported that her morning leg weakness had improved by about 70%. After 3 months, she was back to sleeping in her own bedroom and had regained the confidence to climb stairs without fear. The second vitamin that can dramatically improve morning leg strength is vitamin B12, specifically in its methylcobalamin form. Vitamin B12 is essential for proper nerve function and the production of red blood cells, but its role in muscle strength and coordination is often overlooked. Your peripheral nerves, which control muscle movement and sensation in your legs, require adequate B12 to maintain their protective myelin sheaths and to transmit signals efficiently from your brain to your muscles. When B12 levels are suboptimal, these nerve signals become sluggish and unreliable, particularly after hours of inactivity during sleep. The challenge with vitamin B12 deficiency is that it often develops gradually and can be present even when standard blood tests show normal levels. The typical B12 test that most doctors order measures total B12 in your blood, but this does not necessarily reflect how much B12 is actually available to your cells. Additionally, as we age, our stomach acid production decreases, making it harder to absorb B12 from food sources. Certain medications, particularly proton pump inhibitors and metformin, can further impair B12 absorption. Even people who eat plenty of B12-rich foods like meat and fish may still develop functional deficiencies if their digestive system cannot properly process and absorb these nutrients. The methylcobalamin form of B12 is particularly important because it can cross the blood-brain barrier more easily than other forms and is more readily utilized by nerve tissue. Most over-the-counter, B12 supplements contain cyanocobalamin, which is cheaper to produce but requires conversion by your liver before it can be used effectively. For people experiencing morning muscle weakness, this conversion process may not be efficient enough to provide optimal results. Clinical research has demonstrated that methylcobalamin supplementation can improve nerve conduction velocity and reduce symptoms of peripheral neuropathy more effectively than other forms of B12. James, a 60-year-old retired firefighter from Arizona, had been struggling with morning leg weakness for almost 2 years. He described it as feeling like his legs were asleep even though he had no tingling or numbness. His wife noticed that he had started using the walls and furniture to steady himself when he first got up each morning, and she was worried that he might fall. James had always been active and could not understand why his legs felt so unreliable first thing in the morning when they seemed fine later in the day. His doctor ran routine blood work including a B12 test, which came back at the low end of normal. However, when James requested a more comprehensive B12 assessment, including methylmalonic acid and homocysteine levels, it revealed that he had a functional B12 deficiency despite his normal total B12 reading. After starting methylcobalamin supplements at 1,000 micrograms daily, James noticed improvement within 10 days. His morning leg stability returned to normal within 6 weeks, and he regained his confidence in his physical abilities. The third vitamin that can transform your morning leg strength is vitamin K2, specifically the menaquinone 7 form, which most people have never heard of despite its crucial importance for muscle and bone health. Vitamin K2 works synergistically with vitamin D3 to ensure that calcium is properly utilized in your body, but it also has direct effects on muscle mitochondria and energy production. Your leg muscles contain some of the largest concentrations of mitochondria in your body, because they need substantial energy to support your body weight and enable movement. When vitamin K2 is deficient, these mitochondria cannot function optimally, leading to reduced muscle strength and endurance, particularly noticeable during the first movements of the day. Most people get some vitamin K1 from leafy green vegetables, but vitamin K2 is found primarily in fermented foods and organ meats, which are rarely consumed in the modern American diet. Even people who eat relatively healthy diets are likely to be deficient in vitamin K2 unless they regularly consume foods like natto, aged cheeses, or organ meats. The menaquinone 7 form of vitamin K2 has the longest half-life in your body and is most effective for supporting muscle and bone health compared to shorter chain forms of the vitamin. Research published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that adults with higher vitamin K2 intake had significantly better muscle mass and strength compared to those with lower intake, with the most pronounced differences seen in leg muscle function. The study followed participants for 3 years and found that those with adequate vitamin K2 levels maintained their muscle strength and mobility much better than those who were deficient, particularly in the morning hours when muscle recovery from sleep is most critical. Linda, a 48-year-old nurse from Ohio, had been experiencing morning leg weakness that was affecting her ability to work 12-hour shifts. She would wake up feeling like her legs could barely support her weight, and it would take several hours for her to feel steady on her feet. This was particularly concerning because her job required her to be on her feet most of the day, and she needed to feel confident and stable when caring for patients. Linda had already tried increasing her exercise and had been taking a basic multivitamin for months without improvement. When she learned about vitamin K2 and started taking 180 micrograms of menaquinone 7 daily along with her vitamin D3, she noticed a dramatic difference within 3 weeks. Her morning leg weakness virtually disappeared, and she felt more energetic throughout her long shifts. Now, you might be wondering why your doctor has never mentioned these specific vitamins for morning leg weakness, and the answer lies in how modern medicine approaches symptoms versus root causes. Most medical training focuses on diagnosing and treating diseases rather than optimizing nutritional status for optimal function. Additionally, the symptoms of these vitamin deficiencies often develop so gradually that they are attributed to normal aging rather than correctable nutritional issues. Many doctors simply are not aware of the latest research connecting these specific vitamins to muscle function and morning weakness. The timing of when you take these vitamins can significantly impact their effectiveness for morning leg strength. Vitamin D3 is fat-soluble and should be taken with a meal that contains some healthy fats to optimize absorption. Many people find that taking vitamin D3 with dinner works well because it allows for optimal absorption overnight when muscle repair processes are most active. Vitamin B12, particularly methylcobalamin, is water-soluble and can be taken on an empty stomach, but many people prefer to take it in the morning because it can support energy production throughout the day. Vitamin K2 should also be taken with fats for optimal absorption and works best when taken at the same time as vitamin D3, because these vitamins have synergistic effects. The dosages I mentioned earlier are based on clinical research and represent therapeutic amounts rather than just basic nutritional insurance. For vitamin D3, most adults benefit from 2,000 to 4,000 international units daily, but the optimal dose depends on your current blood level, body weight, and individual metabolism. The goal is to achieve a blood level between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter, which may require higher doses initially followed by a maintenance dose. For methylcobalamin B12, doses between 500 and 2,000 micrograms daily are typically effective, with higher doses being safe because excess B12 is easily excreted in urine. For vitamin K2 as menaquinone 7, doses between 100 and 200 micrograms daily have been shown to be effective in clinical studies. It is important to understand that correcting nutritional deficiencies takes time, and you should not expect overnight results. Most people begin to notice improvements in morning leg strength within 2 to 4 weeks of starting these supplements, with maximum benefits typically seen after 8 to 12 weeks of consistent use. This timeline reflects how long it takes for your muscle cells to rebuild their nutrient stores and optimize their function. Some people may notice improvements sooner, particularly with vitamin B12, while others may need longer depending on the severity of their deficiency and their individual absorption and metabolism. One of the most compelling aspects of addressing morning leg weakness through proper nutrition is that the benefits extend far beyond just stronger legs in the morning. Vitamin D3 deficiency has been linked to increased risk of falls, fractures, depression, and immune system dysfunction. Correcting vitamin D deficiency can improve your mood, boost your immune system, and reduce your risk of osteoporosis. Vitamin B12 deficiency can cause fatigue, brain fog, and increased risk of cardiovascular disease. Optimizing B12 levels often leads to improved energy, better memory and concentration, and enhanced overall vitality. Vitamin K2 deficiency is associated with increased risk of osteoporosis and cardiovascular disease, so ensuring adequate intake supports both bone health and heart health. The interconnected nature of these nutrients means that addressing deficiencies in all three vitamins simultaneously often produces synergistic effects that are greater than the sum of their individual benefits. Vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 work together to ensure proper calcium metabolism, while vitamin B12 supports the nervous system function that coordinates muscle movement. When all three nutrients are optimized, your morning leg strength improves, but you also tend to have better energy throughout the day, improved balance and coordination, and greater confidence in your physical abilities. Before I share some additional strategies that can enhance the effectiveness of these vitamins, I want to pause for a moment to connect with those of you who are watching this video, because morning leg weakness has become a source of real concern in your life. Perhaps you have started to worry about falling, or maybe you have begun to limit your activities because you are not sure your legs will support you reliably. I want you to know that acknowledging this concern takes courage, and seeking solutions shows strength, not weakness. Chronic pain and physical limitations can feel incredibly isolating, especially when others cannot see what you are experiencing. You might have tried to explain to family members or friends how your legs feel different in the morning, only to receive suggestions about thinking positively, or trying some remedy that completely misses the point of what you are going through. The frustration of not being believed or understood can sometimes feel worse than the physical symptoms themselves. I want you to know that your experience is real, your concerns are valid, and the solutions we are discussing today have helped thousands of people reclaim their morning confidence and physical stability. If this resonates with you, please take a moment to share in the comments below one word that describes how morning leg weakness has affected your daily life. Your willingness to share helps create a community where others feel less alone in their struggles, and your experience might provide exactly the validation that someone else needs to hear today. Beyond supplementing with these three crucial vitamins, there are several supportive strategies that can enhance their effectiveness and further improve your morning leg strength. Proper hydration plays a critical role in muscle function, and many people wake up in a dehydrated state after 6 to 8 hours without fluid intake. Drinking a large glass of water as soon as you wake up, preferably with a small amount of sea salt to support electrolyte balance, can help your muscles function more effectively during those first movements of the day. The sodium in sea salt helps your body retain and utilize the water more effectively, supporting proper muscle contraction and nerve signal transmission. Gentle movement before getting out of bed can also make a significant difference in how your legs feel when you stand up. While still lying down, try pointing and flexing your feet several times, doing ankle circles in both directions, and gently bending and straightening your knees. These simple movements help activate circulation in your leg muscles and prepare them for the transition to standing. This is not about doing an exercise routine in bed, but rather about gently awakening your muscles and encouraging blood flow before asking them to support your full body weight. The temperature of your sleeping environment can also impact morning muscle function. Muscles that become too cold during the night take longer to reach optimal function in the morning. If you tend to keep your bedroom very cool, consider keeping your legs slightly warmer with lightweight but warm pajamas or an extra blanket over your lower body. Conversely, If your room is too warm, you might wake up dehydrated, which can also contribute to muscle weakness. The ideal sleeping temperature for most people is between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit, but individual preferences may vary. Magnesium deficiency is another common factor that can contribute to morning muscle weakness, and it works synergistically with the 3 vitamins we discussed today. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic processes in your body, including muscle contraction and relaxation. Taking magnesium glycinate or magnesium citrate in the evening, about an hour before bed, can support muscle relaxation during sleep and improve morning muscle function. Most adults benefit from 200 to 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium daily, but you should start with a lower dose to assess your tolerance, because magnesium can have a laxative effect in some people. The quality of your sleep also directly impacts morning muscle strength and recovery. During deep sleep stages, your body produces growth hormone, which is essential for muscle repair and regeneration. If your sleep quality is poor due to stress, pain, or other factors, your muscles may not fully recover overnight, contributing to morning weakness. Establishing a consistent sleep routine, avoiding screens for an hour before bed, and creating a dark, quiet sleeping environment can all support better sleep quality and improved morning muscle function. Protein intake, particularly in the evening, can also support overnight muscle recovery. Your muscles need amino acids to repair and rebuild during sleep, and having adequate protein available during these overnight processes can improve morning muscle function. A small serving of high-quality protein about an hour before bed, such as Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or a small handful of nuts, can provide the amino acids your muscles need for optimal overnight recovery. The success stories I have shared today represent real people who discovered that their morning leg weakness was not an inevitable part of aging, but rather a correctable nutritional deficiency. Margaret, a 65-year-old grandmother from Florida, had been avoiding picking up her grandchildren because she was afraid her legs might give out while carrying them. After 6 weeks of taking vitamin D3, methylcobalamin B12, and vitamin K2, she felt confident enough to chase her grandchildren around the playground and carry them up the stairs to bed. Robert, a 57-year-old contractor from Texas, had been considering changing careers because his morning leg weakness was affecting his ability to safely work on construction sites. After 2 months of proper supplementation, he reported feeling as steady on his feet as he had in his 30s. These transformations did not happen because of some miracle cure or expensive treatment protocol. They happened because these individuals addressed specific nutritional deficiencies that were preventing their muscles from functioning optimally. The human body has a remarkable capacity for healing and regeneration when given the proper nutrients and support. Your morning leg weakness is not a character flaw or a sign that you are getting old. It is your body's way of telling you that it needs specific nutrients to function at its best. If you are ready to take control of your morning leg strength and reclaim your confidence in your physical abilities, I encourage you to consider implementing the strategies we have discussed today. Start by having your vitamin D blood level checked to establish a baseline and determine your optimal dosing. Look for high-quality supplements that contain the specific forms of these vitamins I mentioned: vitamin D3 rather than D2, methylcobalamin rather than cyanocobalamin, and menaquinone 7 rather than other forms of vitamin K. Quality matters when it comes to supplements, because poorly made products may not provide the bioavailable forms of these nutrients that your body needs. Remember that consistency is key to seeing results. These vitamins need to build up in your system over time to exert their full effects on muscle function. Do not get discouraged if you do not see immediate improvements. Give your body the 8 to 12 weeks it needs to rebuild its nutrient stores and optimize its function. Keep a simple diary of your morning leg strength and any other symptoms you notice. This can help you track your progress and share meaningful information with your healthcare provider. Before I close, I want to address some important safety considerations. While the vitamins we discussed today are generally very safe, there are a few situations where you should exercise caution or work closely with your healthcare provider. If you are taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin, you need to be careful with vitamin K2 supplementation because it can affect blood clotting. Your doctor can monitor your blood clotting times and adjust your medication dosing if needed. If you have kidney disease or a history of kidney stones, you should discuss vitamin D supplementation with your doctor because high doses could potentially worsen these conditions in some people. If you are taking metformin for diabetes, you should definitely consider vitamin B12 supplementation, but work with your doctor to monitor your B12 levels because metformin can significantly impair B12 absorption. The goal is not to replace medical care, but rather to optimize your nutritional status so that your body can function at its best. Many doctors are becoming more aware of the importance of nutritional optimization for health and wellness, and you may find that your healthcare provider is supportive of your efforts to address potential deficiencies. If your current doctor dismisses your concerns about morning leg weakness or is not open to discussing nutritional approaches, consider seeking a second opinion from a healthcare provider who takes a more integrative approach to health and wellness. As we wrap up today's discussion, I want to remind you that taking action on your health is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself and your loved ones. Your morning leg weakness does not have to be something you just learn to live with. You deserve to wake up feeling strong, stable, and confident in your body's ability to carry you through your day. The 3 vitamins we discussed today, vitamin D3, methylcobalamin B12, and vitamin K2, as menaquinone 7, represent a science-based, natural approach to supporting your muscle function and overall vitality. If you found this information helpful and want to continue learning about natural approaches to common health concerns, I invite you to subscribe to Lauren Wellcare. When you subscribe, you are not just following a channel, you are joining a community of people who believe that optimal health is possible at every age, and that small, consistent actions can lead to profound improvements in how you feel every day. I promise that every video I create will be research-based, practical, and respectful of your intelligence and your time. I will never talk down to you or offer false hope, but I will continue to share evidence-based strategies that can genuinely improve your quality of life. Your subscription helps me continue creating content that makes a real difference in people's lives, and it connects you with others who are on similar journeys toward better health and vitality. Thank you for taking the time to learn about these important nutrients and for being proactive about your health. Your willingness to seek solutions and take action is inspiring, and I hope you will share this information with others who might benefit from understanding the connection between nutrition and morning muscle strength. Together, we can help more people discover that aging does not have to mean accepting weakness, pain, or limitations. With the right knowledge and tools, you can continue to feel strong, capable, and confident in your body for many years to come. Remember to always consult with your healthcare provider before starting any new supplement regimen, especially if you have existing health conditions or take medications. The information shared today is for educational purposes and is not intended to replace professional medical advice. Here is to your stronger mornings and your continued journey toward optimal health and vitality.